What are the leading causes of death in the U.S.? Any internet search will produce a generally consistent list that will help you get a test question right. However, if you dive any deeper into the matter, something strange happens. The information becomes less accurate, albeit subtly. In this video, I explore the CDC's take on the leading causes of death in the U.S. It is often the go-to source for other publications, which makes it a good jumping off point to see how resources add to our confusion about disease rather than clarify it. Why is this so? Let's explore and see if we can find out. If you're new to Cesare Project, I recommend checking out our website to see the cool resources we have about thinking differently about disease. Here's the CDC's website. This is the landing page about chronic diseases. And because chronic diseases tend to be the top causes of death in the United States, we are going to be talking about chronic diseases. 6 in 10 adults in the U.S. have a chronic disease, and 4 in 10 have 2 or more. So here are the big 7 chronic diseases. There's heart disease, cancer, chronic lung disease, stroke, which often gets lumped in together with heart disease as cardiovascular disease, Alzheimer's dementia, diabetes, both type 1 and type 2, and chronic kidney disease. This is where we start getting into the discussion about death. Chronic diseases are defined broadly as conditions that last 1 or more years and require ongoing medical attention or limit activities of daily living, or both. When we're talking about limiting activities, we're really talking about a disability. The next sentence carries on with chronic diseases such as heart disease, cancer, and diabetes are the leading causes of death and disability in the United States. All right, so here's the meat of the conversation. We're talking about chronic diseases, and the 3 of interest here are heart disease, cancer, and diabetes. The CDC says they are the leading causes of death and disability in the United States. That "and" indicates that we would expect, if we split out death and disability into 2 separate lists, where one is death and one is disability, that heart disease, cancer, and diabetes should show up very high on both lists individually, such that when they're joined together in one list, they maintain internal consistency. We're going to take a look at whether that happens. This is another Centers for Disease Control and Prevention website looking at the leading cause of death. This was published in 2021, so still in the height of the pandemic. Here they are. Number 1, heart disease. Number 2, cancer. That fits with what we just read on the landing page. Number 3 was COVID-19. Well, that was the middle of a pandemic, a bit spurious in terms of causes of death and not expected to stay there. Plus, it's not a chronic disease, so it got dropped from the landing page. Next is accidents. Number 4, it is a big contributor to death, but again is not a chronic disease. Number 5 is stroke. Well, that didn't make it to the top 3 on the landing page either, but maybe they lumped it in with heart disease, as cardiovascular disease sometimes happens. All right, we're getting pretty far down here and we still haven't met diabetes. We've got chronic lower respiratory diseases like asthma and COPD and Alzheimer's disease, both preceding diabetes. In terms of cause of death, diabetes is number 8, not even close to the top 3. If you look at the numbers here, heart disease is almost 700,000 in 2021, cancer 600,000, and diabetes way down here at 100,000. There's a lot in between here. So as we go back and we look at this, chronic diseases such as heart disease, cancer, and diabetes are the leading causes of death in the United States. But diabetes isn't. And chronic diseases aren't always even in the top causes of death. Here it was an infection, which is not a chronic disease, and here it was accidents. So there's some misleading information in this very brief sentence. While the intent is likely that diabetes is a public health concern that tends to be associated with heart disease, it still is not an accurate portrayal of the causes of death in the United States. Furthermore, many chronic diseases are caused by a short list of risk behaviors: smoking, poor nutritional choices, physical inactivity, and alcohol use. So essentially what they're saying is causes of death by these things are your fault. I don't think that's exactly fair. In summary, why is diabetes presented in the top 3 causes of death? While it may have been a move to inspire public health initiatives and healthy lifestyles, my concern is that it was done without maintaining accuracy or fidelity to the disease process at hand. These are the kind of challenges we find when surfing the current paradigm. Meanings of words and concepts gradually change into something else because we don't understand the processes and the disease conditions underlying them. The conversation tends to move towards things that we think we do understand and can control. Unfortunately, the more we explore this issue and start thinking about disability and death and disability together addressed in following videos, it becomes even more confounded. But we can discover why that information is changing and what it actually means. Stay tuned. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I would love to hear your comments below.